So, you know how we usually do it. We do a customizing live where I paint up every figure and I speed it up slightly so it doesn't take like 3 hours per video. And then I show off the results. But for this one, I just could not be bothered because I just wanted to relax for a bit and, you know, paint without having to worry about being uncomfortable in front of a camera, etc, etc. So let's just go over the entire so far released Apex figures by Jakks Pacific. And I actually do have Series 3, but it's in my Big Bad Toy Store pile of loot. And unfortunately that wave is just 2 repaints and 1 new figure, which is Mirage, who I really want. But other than that, it's just another repaint of Bloodhound and a repaint of Pathfinder. They do, however, come with different weapons. Pathfinder comes with their charge rifle and their heirloom, which I actually do really want, so I said screw it and just bought it. And Pathfinder comes with his boxing gloves heirlooms, which, you know, they're fun, so I got them too. So yeah, just waiting for Mirage, and then we can complete the squad that is Wraith, Pathfinder, and Mirage. And also, I have this figure. This is the alternate dimension Wraith from her Stories from the Outland short. And you know, it's a good figure. The vac metal was scratched when I got it, so that's a little bit frustrating, but oh well. It's a cool looking figure, and technically it's a different character because you see her in the short. I guess you can argue, yeah, whatever. But I didn't really do anything with her because she's pretty much perfect, I think. I didn't really pay that much attention to her design, but she looks good to me. A lot of paint. Yeah, let's start off with the one I've already made a video of. I made a video of Bloodhound here where I painted them up and you know, did some new speckling paint. I used a speckling paint method where I just sort of like dotted the paint on to create this look of worn leather, and I really like how it turned out. Actually, now when I got them up close, I'm a fan of that you can store the weapons on their backs, but oops, look at this. The weapons Jakks make are super bendy and they are just very easily malformed, and it's just not a good look at all. So yeah, please Jakks, shape up. Also Peacekeeper. So, moving on, we have Revenant here, who I didn't really do much to him.
That little voice saying there's still hope, it's lying.
I gave his loincloth here a black wash. It wasn't really as much of a wash as me just like painting the insides here, like the grooves here with a really thin brush and then wiping off the excess, but you know, other than that, Revenant isn't very like metallic worn or anything in the game. He's just like this burgundy red. I did, however, touch up the face quite a bit. Originally, the eyes here were just solid yellow, and I wanted to really like make it. I wanted to make them stand out a little bit more and make them not look so toy-like. So I painted in quite a lot of black around here. This is also accurate to like most of the game art, where like the yellow are like clearly defined eyes and then the areas around them are black, but then in the game it looks a bit different. So it's like a nice middle ground, but this way I feel like the eyes pop way more. So yeah, I also gave him a little wash. You can see these little panels here, little detail work. I did some paint washing in the nose and around the eyes too, but overall, not really that much I did. The Havoc rifle here is really cool looking. Don't really know why I felt like pointing that out, but oh well. I should probably go in and try to add some ankle rockers to this guy because his feet suck. They're really frustrating, but then again his hips are also terrible. Like, they can go in a little bit, they cannot go out at all, and they can go forward if you, yeah. Not really a good design for these, but like what I would do is I probably would have had like a ball and hinge type of joint here. So the hinge would be up here, so you could get like the leg all the way into his crotch like that. But instead it's just a ball and socket, so the movement is very limited. And to show what I mean is, I added some ankle rockers to Bloodhound here. And if you're curious how I did that, you can just check that out in the video, customizing live video. So here's Wraith.
I don't fear anything. Can you say the same?
Wraith had really wide open eyes in the beginning and quite a healthy skin tone. And in the game, Wraith is very, very pale, like almost to a point of like sickly pale. Her lips barely have any color either. And yeah, so I just repainted the entire face and I redid the eyes a bit. Really, I put the eyelashes a bit lower so her eyes aren't as wide open. I'm not really a fan of the haircut Jakks gave her. Her hair should be a little bit more covering of her eyes, I feel, but it works. It's still a solid figure. I also painted these little things silver. But other than that, Jakks are really good with just giving us a lot of paint detail, to be honest. Moving on, we have Pathfinder.
After this, we should hang out.
So, Pathfinder, in the game, he is very, like, for a robot, you would assume Jack could go wild with, like, dry brushing and stuff, but he is very, very clean for a robot. And I couldn't really do anything there, except I painted this bit yellow, added some red detail here, some red up here, and all these like circles around the joints, I painted them gold. You can see another one here and on the inside. But yeah, I grew frustrated with how plain he looked, so I gave him a little bit of a wash, like a dark wash. I think I used Agrick's Earthshade in these grooves here, and then I did a very, very faint dry brush of Lead Belcher. It's a silver, basically by Games Workshop, and I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it in the right light, but from most angles you can't really tell, and that's how I sort of feel like he is in the game, because at a first glance he is just plain blue, but then he reflects light in quite a lot of ways. I also like this little hollow decal here. I would prefer a smiley face over this sad face though. I like the KO, but definitely would prefer a smiley face. And then finally we have Octane.
Death keeps chasing me, but I keep him in my rear view.
I actually didn't do much to. I painted in these little crosses up here. It's a bit sloppy. I didn't really put too much effort into it, but I did put quite a lot of effort into the head. You see all these flesh areas? They're painted in because in the original they were just black, and in the game it's quite obvious that it's supposed to be flesh. Here's another example of Jakks warped guns. This is the R301, one of the best guns in the game, and it just looks like absolute crap. But yeah, I'm really happy with how these turned out. I will eventually get to reviewing this big diva thing in the background, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in a